Hello and welcome to the Twitcher Life podcast, the show that talks all about birds and bird watching. I am the president of Twitcher Life, Arnold. Today we're going to dive into the mudflats and shallow water of the truly exciting world of birds, the shorebirds, particularly Sandpipers and Avocets. These birds are the masters of mudflat and shallow water, showing just how diverse bird life can get. Through their adaptations and behaviors, they reveal the ways in which nature has changed different species in similar environments. The sandpiper group is varied, representing the largest family of shorebirds. You've probably seen them running along in a beach or a mudflat, moving with a constant, busy energy as the tide goes in and out. They truly can travel a vast distance because many species make some of the longest migrations in the entire animal kingdom. Some sandpipers travel from the Arctic breeding grounds to the southernmost tip of South America and back again, a distance of more than 9,000 miles or 15,000 kilometers each way. This remarkable journey is repeated twice each year, making them one of the most accomplished long-distance travelers in all of nature. Sandpipers are often known by their bills, which are their primary tool for finding food. These bills come in many shapes and sizes, each perfectly adapted to check for food in wet sand or mud. Some have short, straight bills used for picking insects and small creatures off the surface. Because of such an adaptation, they can snatch any visible prey. Others, having long, curved bills, allow them to reach deeper layers, as seen in the wernbarrow, whose downward curving bill is able to pick several inches and centimeters beneath the surface to extract hidden prey. Still, others have straight bills of medium length that they use much like a sewing needle to stitch and pick wet sand from with very fast speeds. Its main food consists of tiny invertebrates, including worms, mollusks, and small crustaceans that live in mud and sand. It's a procedure for those birds to constantly tap and pick, guided by touch and sometimes pressure sensors in their bill tips to find a meal. These nerve endings are known as herps corpusculus, which allow the detection of movements and the presence of prey even when visibility is not possible. This sensory adaptation is important for feeding in murky water or in deeper layers where visibility is zero. The birds have to rely totally on feel, making split-second decisions on whether to pursue prey or to move on. Now, the avocets. These are distinctly different from the sandpipers. They are large birds known for their long bluish-gray legs and slender bodies. When seeing an avocet standing in shallow waters, there is an almost graceful quality to their appearance. Their black and white plumage creates bold patterns that make them unmistakable even from a distance. What really sets the avocet apart, especially the American avocet, is its bill. It's long, very thin, and curves slightly upward at the tip. This particular feature determines their specialized feeding technique and represents one of the most distinctive bill shapes among all shorebirds. The upward curve, while seeming unusual, is designed for their specific feeding method. Avocets are often seen feeding by walking in shallow water, with their upturned bill sweeping from side to side through in the water surface. They use these sweeps to strain out small insects and crustaceans from water. It's a unique motion that immediately makes them recognizable on any marsh or prairie wetland. As they walk forward, their head swings back and forth, bill slicing through the water. This allows them to take in a lot of area to catch prey that might otherwise avoid them using other methods. Despite their differences, both sandpipers and avocets share a life by wading. Their long legs are important features that enable them to move about in shallow water and have been adapted to feeding in this dynamic environment between land and water. This zone, neither fully terrestrial nor fully aquatic, offers great feeding opportunities but also puts specific physical demands on an animal. The length of their legs determines how deep they can go, and therefore which feeding grounds and prey are available to them. Both are also dependent on wetlands and coastal areas, especially during migration. They use these areas for filling up those tiny invertebrates we talked about. They will often gather in large flocks, creating sites with all of them taking flight or feeding in unison on some mudflat. Such gatherings could number into the thousands and transform quiet shores into bustling avian feeding grounds. The movements of these flocks turning as one represents one of nature's most iconic displays. These birds are a great example of how such differences in one feature, such as the shape of the bill, can create different survival strategies in the natural world. They acknowledge that evolution allows species to use specific roles in nature, and that the variety of life expands through adaptation. Hope you listeners like the topic today and share with other bird lovers. So, with that, we have reached the end of the podcast. If you want to reach us out, follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. The channel name is Twitcher Live. Thank you so much for listening. Peace!